This is the National Briefing. Hi there, I'm Kelly Nash. And we have fantastic news. You know, we always look to celebrate wins. When Donald Trump and the America First movement has a win, we want to celebrate it. We're making America great again. And yesterday there was, look, I know it's in the papers. I've seen it reported. I feel like it's underreported. I feel like it's not being contextualized properly. Donald Trump did something yesterday in the Oval Office that is huge news. This is massive news to the demographic that needs to hear great news the most. I'm talking about young Americans, people who are in high school, people who are in college, people who are recent college graduates. They are, look, the lean towards socialism the last few years. You got Mamdani, you got AOC, you got Bernie Sanders. The list goes on of these Democrat socialists who are appealing to young people. And the reason it appeals is because capitalism is not appealing to them right now. Capitalism is the greatest. It's the greatest way to get people out of poverty. And yet it needs to be bridled. You cannot have unbridled capitalism because then it ends up abusing the workforce. That's why we had to instill child labor laws back in the day. At one point, you desperately needed minimum wage laws. There's these that you cannot have just companies saying we can do whatever we want to do, however we want to do it in order to make profits. So we do have like OSHA and these types of things in order to protect the workforce and make sure that everybody's doing well. But it's the capitalist system that will get you where you want to go. It or allows you the ability to try to go where you want to go. Socialism, that's a no-go. But the reason people are leaning towards socialism is because they just don't see a path forward in capitalism. So Donald Trump recognizes that. And he came up with an idea, and I think it's a fantastic idea. They've changed the H-1B visa program. Here is a synopsis of the H-1B visa program that is probably more in-depth than most congressmen even recognize it. It's been around since 1952. It was actually just called the H-1 program back then. The president was Harry S. Truman. And I love the way they described what it was supposed to be for. This is for an alien having a residence in a foreign country with no intention of abandoning that country, who is distinguished merit and ability and who is coming temporarily to the United States to perform temporary services of an exceptional nature requiring such merit and ability. This is not a way to get into the U.S. and stay in the U.S. This is somebody who's doing great in wherever you're from. You're doing great in your homeland, but we have an American company who really needs that skill set, and we don't have anybody in America right now with that skill set, or we have such a limited, talent pool that we need to bring in somebody from the outside for a couple of years to get this company up and running to help all Americans. Because again, if the American companies are doing well, America's doing well. The business of America is business. So we want to bring in the best of the best temporarily and then send you back home. But we'll well compensate you while you're here. That has been completely abused, changed, altered. H.W. Bush changed it in 1990. Bill Clinton changed it in 98. Again in 2000, Clinton changed it again. I mean, the thing was getting so abused that by 2007, I mean, that's a long time ago. You got Dick Durbin of Illinois. Yes, the same Dick Durbin who's still in the Senate today. Dick Durbin said, quote, the H-1B visa program should complement the U.S. workforce, not replace it. This program is plagued with fraud and abuse and is now a vehicle for outsourcing that deprives the qualified American workers of their jobs. That was 2007. Democrat Dick Durbin saying that. So it's been a problem for a long time. It has suppressed wages for a lot of people in the United States. Now, I might get into that a little bit later. How does it suppress wages for everybody? We'll talk about that possibly in just a second. But first, let's go to the news. Normally, we would allow our great president, our favorite president, that's right, I'm your favorite president, to make the announcement. But as he made the announcement, I think that Howard Lutnick, who was standing behind him in the Oval Office, encapsulated it so much better. Because normally it's been $1,000 to get an H-1B visa. That changed yesterday.
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs.
Yes, stop taking the U.S. jobs and undercutting us. 70% of the H-1B visas, 70% went to one country, India. Why India? Does India have some sort of unique intellect that we don't have access to in the United States? Of course not. What they have are lower wages. And again, the way they're beating the system, so take a company like, well, the number one, by the way, is Amazon. Amazon has hired the most with the H-1B visas. And what they do is they provide company housing. That's a write-off for them. So it's free housing, and then we're going to pay you a suppressed wage, most of which you don't need while you're living here in the U.S. You can just send that right on back to India. And when you leave here in 2 or 3 years, you're going to have a huge nest egg. If you could pocket $100,000 in India, you're going to live like a king when you return. So those people are way undercutting the jobs. And you can tell right now, I just Googled it. Starting salary at Google for a project engineer. Right now, it's $105,000 per year. $105,000 to be the project engineer. You're the boss. Do you think that the people working underneath the project engineer are going to make more money than the project engineer themselves? Of course not. So you have people, the project engineer suppresses the wages and then of everybody below them. If you have to pay the project engineer $200,000 a year to get the right person in that job, everybody's wages are going to go up. That's how it suppresses wages for everybody. Now, in response to that announcement yesterday, almost like within moments, headline, Walmart halts job offers for all H-1B visa candidates. So Walmart is out. We're out of that business immediately. No word yet on what they're going to do at Amazon. Again, they're the number one, I don't want to say abusers, but number one applicants or Amazon employees, but it's all the tech companies. It's followed by Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Google. Those are the big companies. That's your big five. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, and Google. Again, 70% of these people are coming in from India. Do you think that the people who are graduating from U.S. institutions can't be trained specifically on what you need them to do? Of course they can. They're just going to need more money. Okay? They don't want your free housing. They want more money. They're not going to live in some little crappy company apartment that you're paying, $800 a month for or something. They're going to want a house because they deserve to be well compensated because they have a great skill set that they've worked very hard to develop, and they want to buy their own home. And they want to drive a nice car. They want to be able to take 3 weeks of paid vacation. They want to be able to travel the world and live a great life. That is what is supposed to happen in a capitalist society. We have curbed it by allowing companies to abuse the H-1B visa program. That is ending under Donald Trump's watch. I salute that move. I think this is fantastic. If you know a young person, let them know about it. Let them know that Donald Trump is putting his foot in the ground and saying, we're standing up for the young people, the people that are in high school and middle school right now. You are going to have a better life because of the decision that was made and announced yesterday in the Oval Office. This is making America great again.